त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ वृषभं च शनीनां विश्वरूपमदाभ्यं बृहस्पतिं वरेण्यम्। ॐ तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवीव चक्षुराततम्। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं ज्योतिर्ब्राह्माय नमः। Can everybody say after me? Hare Ramakrishna. Om Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna. Oh, Nakshatra. So we did the Falguni Nakshatra, right? For Falguni and Mr. Falguni, if I remember right. Yeah. We did both the Falguni. Okay. Good. So we'll do Hasta and Chitra Nakshatras mantras today. So this mantra, the first mantra that I am going to read is for Savita, the god called Savita, who owns the nakshatra of Hasta. So basically this is a mantra for Savita as the ruler of the Hasta nakshatra. Om Ajatu Devas Savitopayatu Hiranyayena Suvrutarathena Vahan Hastam Shubham Vidmanapasam Prayachantam Vapurim Punyamacha Hastah Prayacchatamritam Vasiya Dakshinena Patigrubhima Enat Rataramadya Savita Videya Yono Hastaya Prasuvati Yajnam. Now the next mantra is Swashta as the ruler of the Chitra Nakshatra. Swashta Nakshatram Abhyeti Chitram Subham Tasam Yuvatim Rachamanam Nivesayan Namrutan Mapyanscha Rupani Panshan Bhuvanani Vishwa Tannasvasta Tadu Chitra Vichastam Tannakshatram Bhurida Astu Mahyam Tannah Prajam Viravatim Sanotu Gobhirno Ashvai Samanastu Yajnam. Now we will continue discussing chart. As I told you in the previous class, this will be the last class for a month. I will be in India from this Friday. I will be leaving on this Friday and reaching on Sunday. And I'll spend around 4 weeks there. And I will be back on 12th. That happens to be a Sunday. I mistakenly thought that I will be in India till March 9th only, but actually I am in India till March 11th. Yesterday I saw the tickets and decided to additional date. So I thought I may be back on March 12th. So I said, in the mail I said that the next class may be on March 12 or 19. But on 12th I will be teaching in the evening. So the next class will be on March 19. I think 19 is a Sunday. Yeah, March 19 is the next class. So until March 19, I and also Narayan will be in India. So we will not have any class. But if you guys want to meet, just continue to meet here and discuss thoughts by yourself. That is fine. You can either discuss it after the class and come to a decision. So you can talk to Seshu and Seshu Srinivas, you guys can discuss with everybody, and whatever you decide you can implement it. But as far as I am concerned, there is no class till March 19. And even if you guys don't meet on every Sunday and discuss some charts, still try to keep in touch. Otherwise, 1 month is a long time. You will forget everything. So try to see some charts, a couple of charts every week, so that you remember what you learned. And pardon me? Yeah, you can do that also.
We revisit all the past lessons.
Yeah.
Listen to them and write them down.
You can do that, yeah. That's a good use of the month. So do whatever you feel comfortable, and after I come back, like Seshu asked in the last class, we will try to give more structure to the class so that we will remain flexible at the same time. We will prepare you for the BA program of SSC. Okay, we will do that after I come back. What else? So this class will again be a class where I'll just give a chart, and you guys can basically come up with an analysis of the chart, and I can give a little feedback here and then, but you guys will basically drive, and we will take up the chart that Saloni wanted us to look at. So what is the data? One second. March 2nd, 1946. 4 a.m. in the morning. Where? Okay, India. Cambay. Yeah, looks like Gujarat. 72 degrees and 22 degrees. Yeah. Okay. How should I save it? Any initials or Saloni's exam? Okay, so Saloni wants us to look at this particular chart. Now, you guys, it's up to you guys. Spiritual path is for the last 7-8 years. Once again, let me save it. So, Seshu asks, is there anything specific you want to look at? And Saloni is saying, this person has been on a spiritual path, for the last 7-8 years. Okay? Married, got kids, everything, okay? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, her question is, okay, is this the right direction? Okay, so the question is, this person has kids, has a married life, and but she now wants to devote her time to the spiritual cause, and Saloni's question is this the right decision for her, and how will things work out? What will be the impact on marriage, children, etc. So, I'll let you guys try. So, suppose she came to you and asked you this question, how will you approach? Do you want to rectify? Yeah. First of all, do you suspect that time may be wrong considerably? It's an integer hour, it's like 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Whenever you see time like that, you should be suspicious. It's very unlikely that it is wrong, it is right. So, you should rectify. What charge should you rectify? What are the charges that are relevant? She is spiritual and she wants to devote life to spiritual cause. What are the relevant charges? Pardon me? Okay, Mohadasha, we'll keep that in mind. But first, charts. Which divisional charts are important? Rashi and Navamsha are always the foundation, the person's dharma. What else? She wants to devote life to spiritual cause. So what chart is relevant for that? D20 for the spirituality of a person. But devoting life to spiritual cause, what chart is relevant for that? D10, yes, very good. Because She's not talking about just spirituality. For spirituality, for spiritual growth, you don't need to abandon wife, abandon husband, abandon children. You don't have to abandon anything. Spirituality is basically being who you are, where you are, when you are. Just be, that is spirituality. And for that you don't need anything. Basically, true spirituality does not need anything external. Does not need any modification of the external thing. But this person wants to devote her life to spiritual cause, means she wants to spread spirituality in other people, help other people, do something, basically modify the external environment. That is Dashyamsha. Spirituality is entirely internal. So D20 shows internal changes, and those internal changes want to have a role in playing in the modifying the external thing. So that is Dashyamsha. You modify the world around you through Dashyamsha, not through Vinshamsha. You modify yourself through Vinshamsha. So Dashyamsha, Vinshamsha, Navamsha, Rashi. These are the charts that we want to be very sure of. Now, the impact on marriage and the impact on children. What are the charts relevant for that? Impact on marriage, Navamsha. Impact on children, the relationship with children, their growth, D7. So, these are the charts where we want to be absolutely confident that the Lagna is right before we give any analysis. How close is this Navamsha Lagna to the border? 6 minutes on both the directions. So we want basically a 6-minute window. We want to be sure that this time is not wrong by more than 6 minutes. And Dashyamsha, how much window we have? 4 minutes backwards and 8 minutes forward. And Vinshamsha, this is basically going to be less than Dashyamsha. So still 4 minutes backward, but forward is 2 minutes. So Vinshamsha, there is a lot of uncertainty. Dashyamsha and Navamsha are relatively better, but we don't know. This time may be wrong by 15 minutes also. This is very old, 1946 time. So now, how do you rectify this chart? First, do you want to rectify Navamsha and make sure that the 6-minute window is right? Sorry. Because Navamsha there is a big window, whereas Vinshamsha is 2 minutes is changing, 3 minutes. So first you can rectify the Navamsha, then within that Navamsha there are 2 different Vinshamshas possible, 2 or 3. You can find the correct one. Okay? So first go to Navamsha. How do you want to rectify Navamsha? Marriage. If you know the marriage date, that is the greatest information for rectifying the Navamsha. So after. She doesn't know. Okay, oldest daughter is, you said 26 or 27? 26, 27 years old. Married 29 years back probably. Okay. So, Saloni is, she's not sure, but she thinks that they've been married for 29 years. What does that work out to? 2006. So basically 29, you start to subtract 29. So what is it? 1977, 76, 77 times. So basically mid to late 1970s. Let's check out the dashas. Are there any special dashas that are applicable? What dasha do you want to use? Assuming this Navamsha is correct, otherwise Shatabdika may apply. Navamsha is off by 1 time. Right? So is Lagna Lord in 7th house or 7th Lord in Lagna? Is 10th Lord in 10th? Any conditions that we are familiar with applicable? Sun in Lagna? No. Lagna in Vargottama? No. So basically Vinshotri Dasha. So let's go to Vinshotri Dasha. Vinshotri Dasha. Vinshotri Dasha. At the time of marriage was, what Dasha is it? Jupiter Dasha. Antardasha we are not sure of. But Dasha is, Antardasha may be Mercury or maybe Ketu. We don't know for a fact. But Dasha seems to be Jupiter. With this Navamsha Lagna, is Jupiter capable of giving marriage? In the Navamsha, okay, he is in the Lagna, and that's all. Is there any other relevance for him? Lord of UL in Lagna, any other relevance? Aspecting 7th house, excellent. Then any other element? He is the Lagna Lord in Rashi, so in general he shows auspicious happening. What else? That's it. Is it sufficient being Usvada Lord in Lagna, aspecting the 7th house? Is it sufficient for him to give marriage? Yeah, he is aspecting Venus. As a matter of fact, where is he from Venus? Taking Venus as well. He is in the 7th from Venus. So he is in the 7th from Venus, he is in Lagna, he is Upada Lord. So is there a pretty decent chance that Jupiter would give marriage? Yes. But the tricky thing is, okay, if it is Sagittarius, if it changes by one sign forward, if it is Sagittarius, can Jupiter give marriage? Can he still give marriage? Pardon me? He is still, why UL Lord? He is not UL Lord anymore. He is not UL Lord anymore. If you look at AL, this will be the UL then. So he is no longer the UL Lord, but still he is Lagna Lord. And still in the 7th from Venus. Lagna Lord in the 7th from Venus. There is a reasonable chance. Which is stronger? Just in terms of, which is showing higher chance. This Sagittarius or Scorpio? Scorpio. But can you use that to conclude that Scorpio Lagna must be correct? Because at the level of Mahadasha, the logic may not be very crystal clear. When you are looking for marriage, the Mahadasha Lord may have some elements to give marriage. May not be the best candidate. But if he is one of the candidates who can give marriage, that's enough. If the Antardasha Lord happens to be a very strong candidate, that is more important. So when you are judging Mahadasha, don't expect that the strongest candidate to give a result should be the running Mahadasha at the time of the event. So, once again. So, Sagittarius is also possible. We have no convincing logic to basically rule it out. Both Scorpio and Sagittarius are possible. Now, to see if things get trickier, let's see if Libra is also possible. Before that, let's take a look. I'm moving only Lagna to Sagittarius, not Jupiter. Jupiter is still being Scorpio. Like you said, Venus stays in that Navamsa for a few days, but Jupiter stays longer.
That's why
Yes.
if you don't know the name date for the marriage date of the time,
Yeah.
you can be knowing
Yeah, we'll do that also. But we will not speculate. See, we are not even looking at the Antardasha at this point. He said 76, 77. So even if they are strong by a few years, 1970 to 1986. So most likely the Dasha is right. So we are looking at we are basically, okay, she is actually pretty sure now that it is 76. Still we are just looking at the Dasha. So we are safe. And we are not giving it so much importance and saying that Jupiter must be the strongest candidate to give marriage. We are saying if he is a reasonable candidate, then that Mahadasha can give marriage. So this is not speculation. Now, this will give us a window. It may not be a big window, but it will give us some window. Then we will go to Saptamsha also. We will do that also. We will do Inshamsha. Now, is Libra possible? Is Libra possible? Lagna must be? Lagna must be 6 from Venus. So, if Lagna is 6 from Venus, once again, if Lagna is 6 from Venus, what does it mean? The person cannot get married? What does it mean? Yeah. I don't understand your point. We are looking at Jupiter. Is Jupiter Dasha capable of giving marriage if Lagna is Libra? Why are you just focusing on Lagna and saying if we will fix it won't give new beginning? Wherever Lagna is from Venus, Lagna is the one that gives new beginning. But if you say Venus is in the 8th house, so in Venus Dasha this kind of results are possible, that is fine. The question is not whether Lagna should be in which house from Venus. The question is, if Lagna is Libra Jupiter being the third and sixth lord, occupying the second house, is he capable of giving marriage? That is the issue. And what do you think of that? Is Jupiter capable of giving marriage? As a third and sixth lord, would you expect him to give marriage? Being in the second house may be a little chance, but his third and sixth lord, his agenda is not to give marriage, to delay marriage, to give bachelorhood basically. His sixth house is not conducive to relationship, especially being alone. So third and sixth lord in second house, not a strong concept. So Libra Lagna is most probably not correct. Either it is Scorpio itself or Sagittarius. Now she said that she is actually pretty sure that it's 1972. It's not 77 or 78. So the Antardasha is Mercury. Given that the Antardasha is Mercury, do you think that Scorpio is more likely or Sagittarius? What is more likely? If he is Sagittarius, he is the 7th lord in 8th house. So, okay. So, if Sagittarius is Lagna and Mercury is the 7th lord in the 8th house, can he give marriage? Okay. If planets in 8th break the marriage, but if 7th lord is in 8th, 7th house is his agenda, 7th house is to give marriage. Normally it is Maraka, but in this chart, Navamsha, 7th house is the house of giving marriage. His agenda is to give marriage. And he is in the house that shows sudden development. So can he actually, will he, being in the 8th house, he will give some 8th house related results. But his basic agenda is 7th house. So will he give a break in marriage or will he give marriage and sudden changes in relationship, etc. So if Sagittarius is Lagna, he is Mercury capable of giving marriage. He is capable of giving marriage. But with Scorpio Lagna also, is he capable of giving marriage? He is 8th lord and 11th lord. He is an inauspicious planet, but he is in 9th house. Yeah, his agenda is actually not conducive to giving marriage, and he is in the 9th house of Dharma. So, which is a stronger candidate, Sagittarius or Scorpio, based on the fact that Mercury Antardasha gave marriage, which is more likely, Scorpio or Sagittarius? Sagittarius is more likely than Scorpio. So probably the time is off by 6 minutes. But we are not 100% sure. Because even with Scorpio you can make sense of things. Especially, look at Rashi. In the Rashi chart, Mercury owns 7th house. If the 7th lord of Rashi chart is well placed in Navamsha, that itself is enough for him to give marriage. If the 7th lord of Rashi is in 9th house in Navamsha, he is basically... Yes. Okay. What you can make? Yes, if Lagna is moved to Sagittarius, so because we suspect now that Sagittarius may be the right Navamsha, let us quickly check out that Dasha. What is the Dasha running now? We have to, but it won't make much of difference. But we will move. It will make a little difference. What do I have to do? Move the Lagna. Yeah. Okay. Now, Dasha. What Dasha was she running at the time of marriage? The Dasha is Jupiter Dasha, Saturn Antardasha. Jupiter Saturn, can it give marriage? Is Jupiter Saturn Dasha capable of giving marriage? Why? Okay. His point is Saturn is in the 7th house in Rashi chart. What else? In the Navamsha, he is with Venus. We will exchange Venus results. Okay. Venus is the natural karaka for marriage. Okay. But he is well placed. 6th house. Manakaraka sthana, but still he is in own house. If Venus is the 6th lord in the 6th house, can he give marriage in Navamsha? Can he give marriage? What is the result of 6th lord in 6th house? That is 8th Lord in 8th house, Sarala Yoga. What is the name of the yoga? 6th Lord in 6th. What is it called? Harsha Yoga. What is the name of the 8th Lord in 8th Yoga? Sarala Yoga. What is the name of the 12th Lord in 12th house? Vimala Yoga. Harsha, Sarala, Vimala. Just remember the name. Actually, I'll tell you an easy way to remember. Harsha starts with H, Sarala starts with S, Vimala starts with V. H, F, V. They are in increasing order in the alphabet. H comes first, S comes next, V comes next. So remember, 6, 8 and 12, H, S and V. Don't, because you guys seem to be getting confused between those three yogas. 6th Lord in 6, you were saying Sarala Yoga, then you were saying Vimala Yoga. Finally, after removing the other two, then you get Harsha. Process of elimination. Anyway, what is the result of Harsha Yoga? 6th Lord in 6? Cheerful, happy, relaxed. After he is gone, very relaxed, very happy, very cheerful. University? Yes. Any planet, benefic or malefic. 6th Lord in the 6th house is a very auspicious yoga. That yoga will make, in that area of life, it will make the person happy. Any obstacles that were there for a while, definitely they will go away when the planet is activated by transit of Dasha. So, pardon me? No. Harsha Yoga is Harsha, peaceful. Sarala Yoga is very straightforward. So the person works hard, he does things in a straightforward way, very principled. Those are the results of Sarala Yoga. And Vimala Yoga, what does Vimala mean? Purity. No negative intention, very pure person. So one makes the person happy, the other makes the person very straightforward, the last one makes the person very pure heart. Okay? So now Saturn is with Venus, so Saturn will end up giving Venus result, and Venus is basically 6th Lord in the 6th house. He is the 6th Lord in the 6th house. So he gives Harsha Yoga. He makes the person happy in the area of Dharma. So can that Venus give marriage? And from the Dasha Lord, how is Venus? You can, when you judge the Antardasha, you judge it from the Mahadasha, and also you judge it from the Lagna, and also you judge it from the Mahadasha. The Mahadasha Lord Jupiter is in Scorpio. How is Venus placed from Jupiter? 7th Lord in the 7th house. Right? From Jupiter, Mahadasha Lord, Venus is 7th Lord in the 7th house. So can Venus give marriage? He just came and he is nodding his head. Just get the context. Yeah. I'm impressed. He just walked in, he doesn't know anything. I just said, Jupiter is Mahadasha Lord, Antardasha Lord, Saturn gives Venus result, Venus is in 7th house from Jupiter, own house. Can he give marriage? All of you are confused, you are just staring. And he is nodding. He just came in and he just sat. Anyway, so.
Because he can afford to be wrong.
You can also afford to be wrong. Okay. So, is Jupiter, Saturn, Antardasha capable of giving marriage? Yes. So, based on Vinchotri also, when we looked at the Vinchotri before, we saw that this Navamsha should be Sagittarius as well as Scorpio. When we looked at the Dasha and Dasha, there also we thought Sagittarius made more sense. And now there is a special Dasha for this Navamsha which is applicable, and this is also making sense. So probably this is the Dasha applicable, and probably this is the Navamsha. The Navamsha that we have moved from Scorpio to Sagittarius was probably a right decision. Pardon me? Yes, there is no connection. But in the Rashi chart, if you look at the Rashi chart, Saturn is the Lord of US. Saturn is in the 7th house, and he is the Lord of the US. So there is some connection with the US, to Saturn, who is the Antardasha Lord in 1976. Okay? And from the UL in Navamsha also, Saturn and Venus are in the 9th house. Basically, Venus is the 9th Lord in the 9th house from UL. So he is protecting the UL. Now the next event is, what do you want to do? Actually, you guys are driving. Now, my feedback is over. Now you drive. What do you want to know next? After that.
children only.
Children. What do you want to ask her?
Number of children.
There are two. Okay, let me type that first. Okay, she has two daughters. Do you know approximately when they were born? First one you said 26, 27 years old. 19? Okay. Okay. Okay, now there are two daughters, one born in 78, one second daughter born in 1980. Now Saptamsha, let us see how much window of certainty we have. 3 minutes 48 seconds backward the Lagna changes, 13 seconds later it changes. Now 13 minutes, sorry, not seconds. So if it's backward, basically the Navamsha that we have moved from Scorpio to Sagittarius will go back to Scorpio. So probably that's not right, but still let's keep our mind open. And the forward error is 13 minutes. We have a long window. So basically we will confirm basically whether our rectification based on Navamsha is wrong or not. So what do you want to do? How do you count the children? Tell me. Okay, who's counting? Why don't you count? Why don't you give your analysis louder so that people can hear? You can afford to be wrong.
Lagna is in Gemini.
Lagna is in Gemini.
Odd house.
Odd house.
Count
forward.
Fifth house.
First house. Rahu is there.
It is there also, but you don't stop.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Was that your point, stopping, or your point something else? So his point is, should we count reverse?
No,
Is it for Rahu or Ketu? Okay. Okay, do what you want, what you do first, yeah. Okay. Okay, Lord is Venus. Okay. Yeah. Now the thing is, have we concluded based on our past experience that finding sex, male or female, is very reliable based on what we do? No. So when you conclude that Saptamsha Lagna is right or wrong based on just sex, do you want to also look at the dasha and make some sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry? Yes. No, first child you said is based on Venus. So should be a boy or girl? Just based on the rule. Yeah? Yes. I told you earlier that it's based on odd and even signs. Odd signs give boy, even signs give girl, but I gave you two exceptions. Mercury, Gemini and Cancer exchange, Pisces and Aquarius exchange. So Cancer actually shows a boy, whereas Gemini shows a girl. So basically, based on the standard principles, we see that both the children are male. That's what we see. That's the thing. Now, if Rahu is in Lagna, should you count backwards? That's the thing. As a matter of fact, I just want to clarify one thing. Earlier I told you, Ketu or Rahu, actual rule is, it's not Lagna. The counting forward or backward is not based on whether Rahu or Ketu are in Lagna. It's based on whether Rahu or Ketu are in the 7th house. Okay? For example, if this person may have only one husband, but I'm just giving a hypothetical example. Suppose this person had two marriages, let us say. The children from the first marriage you see from the 7th house. 7th house will give. 7th house shows the first marriage always. So, the 5th house is basically 11th from 7th. The gains from the first marriage So fifth house, the first child from the first marriage is basically the gain from the first marriage. And then from there onwards you take third, etc. And based on whether this sign is odd or even, the seventh house that you saw, that is odd or even, you take the 11th from it forward or backward. For example, here Sagittarius is odd. So we took the 11, which is counted forward, so we got Libra. You understand what I am saying? It's not because Gemini is odd. It's because Sagittarius is odd. You may be wondering, why is he saying, anyway, first and seventh are always, they have the same oddity. That's only for the first marriage. Suppose you take the second marriage. Suppose this person has a second marriage. Which house will show the second marriage? So 8th from the 7th shows the second marriage. Right? What is that? Second house. So Cancer, if there is a second marriage for this person, Cancer would show it. Is that odd or even? Even. Now if you want to see the fruits from that marriage, the first child from the second marriage, you take the 11th house from Cancer, but counted reverse. Why? Because Cancer is even. You see my point? Though Gemini is odd, now we are not looking at Gemini, we are looking at Cancer. So when you take the 11th house from Cancer, no, not for this lady. I'm just giving the theory. So for Cancer, because it is an even sign, the 11th house counted backward is Virgo. So you take Virgo as the first child, and second child will be, we are counting backward, remember, so third from there, so that will be Cancer. So this is how you count. So if you get used to taking the house of marriage and checking whether that is odd or even, that will be helpful, instead of just looking at Lagna always. So look at Sagittarius. That is odd or even, that is odd. Now is Rahu or Ketu there? Ketu is there. With Rahu you have to think. With Ketu you don't have to think. Unless Ketu is being dominated by Shani or Jupiter or somebody, Ketu's exception will work. So you have to count backward here. Okay? Now hypothetically, let's say this person had second marriage. Yes. Especially here, if Jupiter was in one house with Ketu, he may have dominated Ketu and suppressed the Ketu instinct of going reverse. He may have made him more traditional, more conservative, more standard-based, instead of being a rebel. Saturn is even more conservative than Jupiter. Jupiter applies his intelligence, so sometimes if you deviate, it's okay with him. But Saturn, why deviate? This is what I've been doing for millennia, or billions of years. I'll change it all of a sudden. Let's do it for some more billions of years. That's what Saturn is. He's more conservative than Jupiter. So with Saturn is there with Ketu, and Saturn is stronger, you can be sure. But no exception will apply. Saturn will say, no exception. Just do it. This is the way it has been. This is the way it is. That is Saturn. Anyway, coming back here, pardon me? It's not just seventh, that's what I'm saying. It may be second also, if you are looking at second marriage. If the second marriage, I said, Cancer is even, so you count backward. But if Ketu was there, you would have counted forward. And you would have said, the 11th house is Taurus, so the first child from the second marriage is given by Taurus. And the second child by Cancer. You have counted forward. You see what I am saying? So, first you have to determine the house that shows this particular marriage, from which the child is resulting. And then based on whether that is odd or even, you count the 11th from it, forward or backward, and then from there you count 3rd, 5th, 7th, etc. Again, whether the count is forward or backward is based on whether the sign showing that particular marriage in the Saptamsha chart is odd or even. Is everybody clear? Good. Now, here the 7th house has Ketu, so definitely the exception applies, and he is very strong, he is exalted. So definitely the exception applies. So the first child will be given by the 11th house from it, but not forward, backward. So Aquarius gives the first child. And who is the lord of Aquarius? Saturn and Rahu. Saturn and Rahu are the lord. Who is stronger, Rahu or Saturn? Why? He is fighting a big fight with Sun, so he is stronger. See, these are the things. These are the tricky decisions that you have to forget Lagna influence. We are not. We don't care which house they are in. That way, is Rahu in Lagna stronger or Saturn in 6th house stronger? Who is more auspicious in a chart? Saturn in 6th stronger or Rahu in Lagna? Rahu in Lagna is not well placed. That's not a house he would rather be. He would rather be in 3, 6, 11. Yeah, that is the thing. So I am saying, looking at house and how strong they are, that is not the way. The way is, look at how many planets there are. That is the rule. But the thing is, should you always apply that rule without any thinking, or should you apply any thinking? Is Rahu with Sun stronger, or is Saturn alone stronger? Yeah? Yeah. What is the rationale behind the rule that planets with more planets are stronger than planets that are with less planets? What is the rationale? Yeah? Basically, you have Sankhyabalam, the strength of numbers. But, yeah. But the thing is, if Sun and Rahu are there, does it really add that number, strength of numbers to Rahu, or does it just make him preoccupied with some other fight? Okay. So what does your intuition tell you? What I am trying to find out is there are always rules, but some rules are always some rules. You have to use your intelligence. Unless you understand the rationale behind various rules, you will not be able to do justice. You don't expect rishis to tell you all this, because these are subjective. They will tell you the objective rules so that you can do the subjective analysis and modifications for yourself. So, what does your intuition tell you? Should Rahu be taken as the Lord or Saturn? Okay. So, Rashi is not really auspicious, but he is a Kamatic planet in a Kamatic sign. He is comfortable. Though he would rather have somebody other than Mars be the Lord of that house, still he is in a Kamatic sign. He is a Kamatic planet. He is not that unhappy. And he is in the 6th house. So, in terms of which sign he is in, which house he is in, he is very comfortable. He is much more comfortable than that Rahu who is fighting a war with Sun. But the thing is, Rahu is also exalted. He is very excited about being there, and he is fighting a war. So, is it very obvious to you who will dominate? Who is stronger? Yeah, but still Rahu is exalted. He is very excited. So he is fighting a war. He is basically trying to close Sun's eyes. He is trying to eclipse Sun. But he is very excited about doing it. But the thing is, he is so excited about it that other things he may ignore. Who are not close? 17 and 3. Why are you looking at the degrees in Rashi? Yeah, but they are not together in Rashi chart. Different. Yeah, still, even if still they are far. Yeah. Who are still together? Who said still together? They are not together in Rashi. They are together in Nava, Saptamsha. See, Sun is in Aquarius. Rahu. See, let's look at the longitude. You said 17 degrees and 3 degrees, right? Forget 17 and 3. 17 degrees Aquarius and 3 degrees Gemini. Yes, they are very far. They are 120 degrees far. You see my point? When you are looking at two planets who are together in Saptamsha, if you want to see how strong their togetherness is, you don't look at the degrees in the Rashi chart. Because in Rashi, then for all you know, they may be in different signs. Look at the degrees in the Saptamsha. There is a Saptamsha. When each planet comes into the Saptamsha, there is basically 4 degree, how many minutes I forget, 2 by 7 times 60. So 120 divided by 7 minutes. So 4 degree, 17 minutes at least. So 4 degrees, 17 minutes arc is there. During that, when the planet crosses that entirely, it finishes from Saptamsha, 30 degrees in the Saptamsha. So if you find the longitude in the Saptamsha, which is given by the software. If you say choose divisional longitude, look at Saptamsha. Here, Sun is in 3 degrees Gemini, 3.5 degrees Gemini, Rahu is in 22.5 degrees Gemini. So still they are far apart. So your point is still valid, but it just happened to be valid. And still the numbers are 3 and roughly 17. You said 17, it's 22. So your point was right, but accidentally right. Yeah. So the fight is not as intense. Had they been like 5-6 degrees close, or 1 at 3 degrees, 1 at 9 degrees, then the fight would have been more interesting. Now they are at other end. And are they approaching each other, or have they separated? Sun is at 3.5 degrees, moving forward. Rahu is at 22 degrees coming backward. So they are actually approaching. So even though the eclipse of Sun by Rahu has not reached the pinnacle, still Rahu is very excited. Yes, I am approaching Sun. That is his state. He's in exaltation and he's looking straight at the face of Sun. He wants to go and reach Sun. So overall, our subjective analysis is Rahu is preoccupied with other exciting activities rather than own Aquarius. He is preoccupied with other things, whereas Saturn is not so busy. He is not preoccupied with other things. So, first of all, for a planet to own a house, it has to have the motivation. If I and my wife want to, or let's say X and Y, think that they own a particular place and they want ownership of a particular place and they want to fight, if there are more people with me, I bring them to fight and I win. If there are less people with me, I lose. But the thing is, I should have the motivation to fight. If I am preoccupied with other things, I rather not worry about this. Then even if I have more numbers with me, still I may not fight. So there are so many subjective factors that you have to judge. So here it seems like Saturn is stronger, but we can never be sure. What is the way to be sure? If you want to know whether Saturn or Rahu is a stronger candidate in this chart, what is the way to know for sure? How does it help you? Sadbala is not for this purpose. There is subjective bala and your subjective analysis is not conclusive. How can you be sure if Saturn gave the result or Rahu? Pardon me? Knowledge of? No, I'm not asking you to come up with new rules to decide. Let's say you used all the rules you know and you're still not sure. That does happen in real life. You wonder, is it this or this? How can you resolve? Again, Ashtavarga will only show whatever Saturn's agenda is, whatever Rahu's agenda is, how many planets are cooperating. But to know whether Aquarius is owned more by Saturn or Rahu, who shows this particular child, how will you know? If you look at the Dasha and Antardasha when the child was born, can that help? Always, basically, fall back on common sense. If you can't figure out based on the rules, look at the Dasha and Antardasha. Similarly, in this case you may not know, but sometimes when somebody comes to you, if you ask the chart of a child, they would know. So if you say, can you give me the chart of your child? If you ask for the data of that particular child and make a chart, will that help? You may see which are the planets dominating. Is Rahu's influence stronger on Lagna, Rahu and Sun, or Saturn? You can look at the influences. For example, the person may have a strong Guru Mangal Yoga in Jupiter and Mars in the 12th house, let's say, or 6th house. Here you see that from Saturn. So Saturn is dominating. Like that, you can see the similarity between the Rashi chart of the child and this particular Saptam chart, taking Saturn as Lagna or Rahu as Lagna, and see which is showing the child, which is matching more. You see what I am saying? Whenever you are not sure, basically that kind of analysis will help you. So that is the common sense approach. And here if you see the Dasha and Antardasha when the child was born. The first child was born in Jupiter, Saturn. Jupiter Dasha, Saturn Antardasha. First of all, is Jupiter Dasha capable of giving children? Because both the children were born in Jupiter Dasha. If this Saptamsha is accurate, is Jupiter capable of giving children? He is sitting in the 5th house, he is a quadrant lord, he is basically well placed. Putrakaraka in the Pratisthana, so he is reasonably well placed. And he is in Libra in the Rashi chart. Okay. Now, Is Saturn Antardasha capable of giving child? Giving the first child. She said 78. 73 to 79 was Saturn Dasha. Is Saturn Dasha capable? For the first child. Yeah. So we concluded that it may be Saturn who gave this child, not Rahu, even though Rahu seems stronger based on some rules. Do you think now, based on the information that Saturn Dasha gave this child, do you think that probably Saturn is stronger rather than Rahu, who is preoccupied with other things? He is more preoccupied with existing sun than owning Aquarius. So she may not have. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, that's not all. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll just go with this. Now, the second child was born in 1980. Do you know if it is before April or after April? After October. So second child, let me note that down. That is useful. Second daughter born October 1980. Now, if this Saptamsha is right and this Dasha is the applicable Dasha, second child should also be reasonably explained. Who shows the second child? Oh, by the way, first child sex. What is the sex of first child? Even Saturn is alone. He is in an even sign. So what should it be? Girl. So first child being a girl makes good sense. Now second child. Second child, how do you see? Remember we were counting. We took the 11th house from 7th house and we were counting. We were counting backwards because of Ketu. So if you count the third house from there, do you count the third house forward or backward? Backward. So you come to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius shows the second child. So Sagittarius and the Lord. Where is the Lord? Lord is Jupiter. He is in Libra. He is in an odd sign with Mars. So definitely, based on the some rules that we know, it is a boy. But for some reason we are wrong. But based on that, let's not change the Lagna, but see if the Dasha and Antardasha makes some sense. Can Jupiter Dasha give this child? Yes. Can the Antardasha of Moon? No, not Sun. Moon Antardasha give this child. Can Moon Antardasha give this child? Is Moon related to Sagittarius or Libra? Not both. He is basically he is in Sagittarius. So second child you will see from Libra, but that is the Paka. The actual sign was in Sagittarius. So if a planet is in Sagittarius or Libra, that planet Antardasha can give the second child. So Moon, Mars and Jupiter, these are the possibilities. Or maybe even Ketu, but Ketu is not so auspicious here. So Moon, Jupiter and Mars could have given this particular child. So given that Jupiter, Moon gave this child. Pardon me, yeah, Moon is associated with Ketu. Still he is in Jupiter's house and he has Agras of Jupiter. He is in a friendly house. Ketu is trying to eclipse Moon, just like Rahu is trying to eclipse Sun. But still, Moon is in a friendly house. Whereas Ketu is in a neutral house. Yes. So, Ketu did his job. But Jupiter, his Moon being with Jupiter basically failed. Rescued this child. And why did it end after this? Actually, this is also, yeah. Because Ketu is there, once again. Sorry? Not cross. If you come and end up with Rahu or Ketu, that is the end. But if you have to cross, it may end without crossing, or if the next sign is strong, has an influence of Jupiter and Venus, it can cross and the next child may be given. But here it doesn't apply. Let's say Ketu was in Scorpio. If Ketu was in Scorpio in this chart, first child Aquarius, second child Sagittarius, third child will be given by Libra, but may or may not be given. But here Jupiter is in that sign, Venus won't it. So probably in this case, third child would have been given. But if the next sign does not have a strong influence of Jupiter or Venus, it could not even cross over, jump over Ketu, it would have ended in Sagittarius. That is if Ketu was in Scorpio. But in this case, Ketu is in Sagittarius itself. So you came and landed in Ketu. So that is absolute right. Yeah. That is the thumb rule, but I know a couple of exceptions where the neck strain is so strong that it had to, even when Ketu, you are not jumping over Ketu, you are in Ketu, he is holding your feet, still you can jump over and go to the next strain. That is also theoretically possible. But the thing is, based on the thumb rule, that's not possible. So let's just use the thumb rule for now. Okay, safe. Almost the end of pregnancy. So okay. So now the thing is, she also gave a very useful information. She said the second child almost died and it's premature. So now, given all the information and given the dasha, are you comfortable that this Saptansa is accurate? Yes. We are comfortable that this Saptansa is accurate. So what does it tell us? So it's not backward by 3.5 minutes. So Navamsa, whatever we did is probably right. Moreover, the dasha is working so nicely, right? Shani gave the first child, Moon gave the second child. So dasha is working very nicely. So Navamsa is also accurate. So we know that our Navamsa, Saptansa are accurate. Forward error is not more than 30 minutes and backward error is not more than 0 seconds. Because we said this Navamsa is right. So the time that we have rectified, which is from 4 we changed it to 4:6:45. Let me just make it an even. So we made the time 4:6:45. 4 hours 6 minutes 45 seconds. So we know that it is not before that. It is after it. It is either that time or after. And afterwards it's not wrong by more than 30 minutes. So that is what we know. But actually Navamsa may give a different number. Here also 30 minutes. So we know that it's not more. It's between 4:6:45 and 4:20 roughly. So that is what we know. Now we need to rectify further. Who knows? It may be 4:15 also. Let's go to Dashamsa. Do you want to go to Dashamsa or Vinshamsa? What do you want? It's your call. Dashamsa. Now what do you want to know about Dashamsa? Ask her. Yes. One second. Don't ask her. He's a physician. Let's save that. Okay, that's okay. But he's asking the right question. Go ahead. Okay. He's a physician. What kind of physician you are? Pediatrician. Pediatrician is the right spelling? Okay. He's a physician and she's a pediatrician. Okay. Forget, you are getting too specific. We want to finish the education quickly and also answer the question. That is the key thing. So let's not go into her education, etc. Forget D24. Only D10 and D20. You can read actually the first couple of lines. She's been on a spiritual path for the last 7-8 years. And she's married, got children, and she's got everything. But she wants to devote her life to the spiritual cause now. And she was asking if this is the right decision for her and what is the impact on her domestic life. Now, okay, her career is, she is a physician, and let's see how much leeway we have in the Dashamsa. 1 minute 19 seconds later it will change. And 10 minutes 41 seconds earlier Lagna will change in the Dashamsa. We know that backward there is no error. So, 1 minute 20 seconds forward error is quite possible. We have rectified by 6 minutes 45 seconds. Another 1 minute 20 seconds is possible. So, most likely the Lagna in Dashamsa is either Leo or Virgo. Now we have to see whether Leo makes more sense or Virgo makes more sense. Given the fact that she is a physician and she is a pediatrician. Now, Shashanka said it makes sense to him. So let's start with it. What makes sense and why?
10th house is occupied by moon.
10th house is occupied by moon. Dashamsa. Moon indicates motherly care. Okay. So he thinks that moon can show pediatrician. Good, very good. Any other thoughts? If Lagna was in Virgo, could you have explained the fact that she is a physician? Mercury would have given the career. 10th Lord aspect in the 10th house. Venus in the 2nd house. So Mercury or Venus would have given the career, or Saturn in the 6th house. Do you see those planets showing a doctor, especially pediatrician? See, with doctor there are several planets. Even Sun Rahu combination can show a doctor, but that would be more like a surgeon. We are talking about a pediatrician. So Mercury or Venus or Saturn showing pediatrician doesn't make much sense. Does it make sense to you that exalted moon shows a pediatrician? To him it makes sense. He says motherly care. To you? Okay, so does everybody think that Leo Lagna is more correct than Virgo Lagna, given the fact that she is a pediatrician? Okay. Very good. So, are we done? So, what is the window we have?
1 minute.
1 minute 20-second window. So, we know that the time is between 4:6:45 and 4:7:65. That means 4:85. 4:6:45 and 4:85. So, let me note that also down. Okay. So this is reasonably narrow. It has a 1 minute window. It's a reasonably narrow time. So let us go to Vinshamsa and also let us correlate Vinshamsa and Dashamsa and answer the question in the next 30 minutes. We have already spent a lot of time, 1 hour rectifying the chart, and now it is time to basically give some prediction. First of all, look at Vinshamsa. Is the rectification we have done enough for Vinshamsa? Yes. If you are sure of Dashamsa, sometimes you may not be sure of Vinshamsa. That's why I brought this up. But here we are sure of Dashamsa and Vinshamsa. Now, something relating to Vinshamsa. The fact that she's been more spiritual for the last 7-8 years. So that itself is a clue. Look at the Dashas, what Dasha she is running, how is it in Vinshamsa. Now she wants to do a spiritual cause in the society. But before that, she grew spiritually within herself. So Vinshamsa related activity was going on. Now that wants to cross over from Vinshamsa into Dashamsa. So you can look at the last 7-8 years and see what is going on in Vinshamsa. So let's do it. How are the last 7-8 years? What Dasha has she been running? Mars Dasha. How is Mars Dasha for spiritual life? For me? Is Mars Dasha first of all a spiritual Dasha? Okay, he says not really. Who says yes really? Okay, why? Okay, Mars is with Rahu and Ketu, that's all. He is the? Yeah. In the Rashi chart, what does he want? 5th and 12th house. What are those houses called? What is 5th house? Devotion, mantra. What is 12th house? Moksha. Basically all the upasana that you do, that is 12th house. So 5th and 12th houses are the important houses for all the sadhana, all the devotion that you do. So he is basically like the Karyasha for these matters. And in the Vinshamsa, he is the 4th and 11th law. And he is in, there is a Parivartana between Mars and Venus. So, for me, who is debilitated? Mars is debilitated? He really scared me now. What is Mars debilitation sign? Okay, you remember the exaltation sign. So you remember it as a debilitation is actually a quadrant sign. Oh, instead of exaltation in 7th, you saw Moratikona and 7th. Now I understand how you are thinking. Okay, there is some logic. Now not clear. Good. You were saying something, Shashi? Okay. Can this Mars Dasha show some spirituality? Some internal spiritual changes? He is with Rahu Ketu and he is with Mercury also. What houses does Mercury? Pardon me?
How come Rahu Ketu is going together?
In the Vinshan, some divisional charts they are together.
They have to be always take this appointment.
In the Rashi. Physically they are basically opposite ends. They never agree on anything. He says one, Ketu says another. They are always opposite each other. They are opposing each other physically. But in some matters they cooperate. Example, spiritual matters. In D20, Rahu is not a evil planet. He is a very, very important planet for spirituality. So there Rahu and Ketu are like one. They act together. Spiritual matters. There are some matters where they are together. And some matters where they are poles apart. Yeah? 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 Now the thing is, yeah? Now the thing is, she said, that's true, that's good. Now the other thing is, she's been on a spiritual path. That's what she said. Those are the words. What does it mean? No, what is the spiritual path? Try to get an understanding of what exactly it is. Are we talking about internal awakening, or are we talking about some external worship or rituals, or what kind of things are we talking about? Yeah? Okay. Yeah? 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 She's following some guru, and does she go to some gatherings? Yeah? 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 Okay. Yes. What is 10,000 Nisanta? What is the meaning of the 10,000 Nisanta? Okay. Okay. For me? Murti is basically all the guidance in spiritual matters. That is Guru. Okay? He is with Mars. Yeah. 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 Now the thing is that Mars, first of all, what shows the internal experience. He has awakened. There may be some external factors that led to this. He may have gone to some satsang, met some guru, went to him. She may have gone to him for a couple of gatherings, let us say. She met him, she listened to him, then she bought some books, she read some books, she discussed with some co-devotees, and then they were all doing some practice together. So all these things, all these kind of things, they will be from the 10,000 Vimshamsa. So that is the 10th house. But who shows internal? That is basically all the external interactions which influence your spirituality. That you see from the 10th house, which is involved here. But what shows the internal awakening? Okay, what else? Which planets are karakas for that internal awakening? And breaking the boundaries within. Rahu and Ketu, those are the planets of internal awakening spiritually, and they are with Mars. So this is the 10th house related thing. There is 9th house influence, a Guru coming, and also Rahu and Ketu are there. So given all these factors, basically there is a possibility of lot of external changes, which also make her awaken internally mostly. And why did Mars give this result? Any of them could have given this result. Why was it Mars? He is basically the 5th and 12th lord from the Rashi chart, and he being placed in this powerful yoga. This is not any Raj Yoga. Actually, there is a Raj Yoga also, if you look carefully. But being in this very powerful yoga between the 9th lord in the 10th house with Rahu Ketu and with the Karyasha from the Rashi chart, there is a powerful yoga between all these planets. And being the 5th lord of devotion and 12th lord of Upasana in the Rashi chart, Mars is quite capable of giving this result. Especially, do you think that Mars Mercury would have been very important? Are Mars and Mercury giving any yoga here? What houses does Mercury own and what houses does Mars own? Are there any quadrant and sign there? 4th and 9th. The 4th lord and 9th lord have a yoga, Raj Yoga. What is the result of that Raj Yoga? What is the meaning of 9th house? Yeah, 9th house is basically guidance. What is 4th house? Direction. Basically 4th house, the meaning of 4th house is a clear direction. And of course, if you have a clear direction, you are comfortable. When you don't have a clear direction, you are uncomfortable, you are unhappy, you don't know what to do. You are not sure of what to do. When you are sure of what to do, when you have a clear direction, you are comfortable. So when I say direction and when I say comfort, they are not two different things. They are basically the same thing, even though they sound like two different things. Mental peace comes when you know what you are doing, when you have a clear sense of direction. So 4th house, the fundamental meaning of 4th house is sense of direction. So there is a yuti, yoga between 4th lord and 9th lord. So can that Raj Yoga show finding some guidance, finding a guru and getting a clear sense of direction as though you know what you are doing now. Is that possible in that particular Antardasha? So that yoga may start giving its results from the beginning of Mars Dasha, but it will be more pronounced in the Mercury Antardasha. So Mercury Antardasha is a very, very important Antardasha. She will start feeling as though she has a direction. Yes.
How about 1940
Yeah?
How about Mercury Mars?
Could have given. But the thing is, just one dasha doesn't show exactly what is happening. You can look at Dasha, you can look at Narayan Dasha, Vansha. When you look at all these, there may be 5 candidates based on one dasha. There may be 5 other candidates based on another dasha. If you look at all those, you can find the intersection and you can find the one that actually has given the result. So in other words, what I am saying is, as long as you are looking at just one factor, like Shatabdika Dasha, you cannot conclusively say this Antardasha must give this result. It's very difficult. Yeah. That's what I am saying. Mercury Mars is a good candidate. Mars Mercury is a good candidate. Why not Rahu Mercury? So I am saying there are like 6 or 7 candidates that can make create changes in life, big change in life, and give her a clear direction in life. And the thing is, with the astrology that we do, which is basically very, very superficial, it's very tough to narrow down to one. So what I am saying is, if you want to really do that, you have to use multiple techniques and then find the intersection. But here what we are doing is, we are just using one technique and seeing if things make sense. We are not predicting. If she came to you, let's say at the beginning of Mars Dasha, if you say, you will find a good guru, follow him, then you will feel, during 99-2001, you will feel lot of comfort from within. You will have a clear direction. Whatever your heart tells you to do during that time, just follow that direction. That will turn out to be good for you. You can, if you want to give that prediction to her, you better check other things like Sthiti Pravesh, Narayan Dasha, Dhruv Dasha. If you check all those things, then you can give a confident prediction. So what I am saying is, to justify something that happened in the past, to be sure whether the dasha, all the calculations are correct or not, you can be a little loose. But when you have to make a prediction, you have to be very strict. You have to use multiple techniques. Is my point understood? Okay, now. Yeah. 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 So Venus and Mars Parivartana, and Venus and Mercury and Mars combination is being accepted by Venus. So actually that combination, that yoga is also very powerful yoga. Though it is Mars and Venus, there is a lot of discomfort involved in it. There is a lot of turbulence basically. It doesn't happen very smoothly. Any Raj Yoga given by Mars and Venus doesn't happen very smoothly. There is a lot of pain involved. But here Venus is a great yoga karka. So are you saying that Mars Venus itself is very, very important? Absolutely, I completely agree. Mars Venus is basically life altering Antardasha. After that Mars Mercury is when the Guru's teachings, she may be attracted earlier, but Guru's teachings will really sink in, and then she will be clearly focused and clear direction. So overall, what we wanted to do is, we wanted to see if this Vinshansha in the past makes reasonable sense. And overall, forget the Dasha. Is she a really spiritual person? First of all, there are very powerful yogas in Vinshansha, and in the Rashi chart, you have Ketu in Lagna, exalted Ketu, the 12th Lord, Mokshakarka, he is in Lagna. So is she very spiritual? Even in Vinshansha, Lagna Lord in 12th house, Saturn. So she is quite a spiritual person. Okay. Pardon? Yeah. It shows lot of upasana. Yes, it shows lot of meditation. Lagna Lord in 12th house shows lot of meditation for the person. And also Shani is the karaka for meditation. There are lot of spiritual paths. Some paths which are very ritualistic. You put so many things, you take so many materials, you do various rituals. And in some paths you do yajna, a lot of fire, you offer so many things, you put them in honey, you put them in fire. So there are so many different paths. And there are some paths where you don't need any external thing, it's all internalized, you just meditate. And then you have all the experiences with it. So there are various paths. So when you talk about all these paths, basically the internalized meditation, that is shown by Shani, Rahu and Ketu. Shani is the main planet for meditation. And Rahu and Ketu are the planets for various experiences in that meditation. So actually irrespective of the path you are following, finally any experiences that you get, any out of body experiences, basically you are bound to this body. If you experience something that is outside the body, that you don't normally experience with the senses, the normal senses that are attached to the body, that is Rahu and Ketu. So all the special experiences, spiritual experiences are given by Rahu and Ketu. And various paths, Moon and Mercury for example, they show the path of devotion. Whereas Saturn will show the path of meditation, pranayama, meditation, following Patanjali Yoga Shastra. All these things are shown by Saturn. Here Saturn is the Lagna Lord in 12th house, so shows a lot of meditation. So overall she is a spiritual person, she does a lot of meditation, all those things make sense. And another thing, did you realize that Mars is Atmakaraka? Pardon me? Oh, so I should change to Rashi and see what Karaka Mars is. Mars is Pitrakaraka and Atmakaraka is Rahu. So is there any yoga, any Karakaraka based yoga given by Mars? Pardon me? What is? I didn't hear you. Can you repeat? No, Atmakaraka, Pitrakaraka being together is a Raj Yoga. Atmakaraka, Amartyakaraka being together is a Raj Yoga. That shows doing a lot of important work in the society. Atmakaraka, Pitrakaraka being together shows somebody who will protect you in that particular area of life. If it is Vinshansha, getting somebody who will give you good guidance, maybe Guru. If it is Dashamsha, some authority who will protect you and who will give you quick growth. Similarly, if there is Atmakaraka, Putrakaraka yoga, they are together or aspecting each other or in Parivartana, if it is Atmakaraka and Putrakaraka, a lot of following, which will put you in good stead. lot of souls basically who get attracted to you, who want to follow you. Similarly, if it is Pitragarga, Atmagarga, lot of souls who feel fatherly love for you, who feel that they have to lift you up. They have to protect you, give you guidance and lift you up. So that is the meaning of those yoga. And similarly, Amachagarga, Atmagarga, lot of souls which have an attraction to your soul, they feel that they have to guide you, they have to give you counseling. Not in a fatherly way, but in a ministerly way. Not brother, ministerly way. So these are the important things. And here, Mars is Atmagaraka, Pitragaraka, Rahu is Atmagaraka. So there is a yoga between Mars and Rahu in Rashi as well as in Vimshamsa. They are actually quite, in Rashi as well as Vimshamsa they are together. So there is a Raj Yoga between Atmagaraka and Pitragaraka. It shows, so that Raj Yoga, what does it show? It shows somebody basically guiding her life. Okay. What is the meaning of Mars Mercury Raj Yoga in the Vimshamsa? Atmagaraka, Daragaraka. Who does Daragaraka show? Spouse is just one unit. Daragaraka is not just spouse. Partners. If you are looking at Dashansha, they can be your colleague, they can be your business partner. Basically, all the souls that are attracted to your soul and want to work with your soul. So there may be some business partners who like to do business with you. In that case, there is Atmagaraka, Daragaraka relationship. You see what I am saying? Just relationship, just partners are from the 7th house, A7, all those things. But if Daragaraka, Atmagaraka involvement, yoga is also there, then there will be some partners, some colleagues or some business partners who feel that attachment to you from the level of soul, maybe from previous life, not necessarily the previous life, but one of the previous life. So there will be some relationships that are at the soul level. So those you see from the Karaka. The Daragaraka I said shows colleagues and business partners in Dashamsa. But in Vimshamsa, who does it show? All the souls who want to go with you in spiritual path. So if you are in a particular path with a particular guru, all your fellow Sishyas, who may, all the people that you interact with in your particular ashram, they may be from the Daragaraka. So there is a yoga between Daragaraka, Atmagaraka also. Daragaraka, Pitragaraka, Atmagaraka. They all have a yoga. So the source basically being in good hands and being with lot of like-minded people. So Karakaraka based yogas are basically throughout the life, but within particular dashas and prithas they will suddenly either fructify if they haven't already fructified, or if they have already fructified they will basically reappear. Okay, now let us quickly check the Vimshamsa Narayana Dasha. Oh, it is already there. Vimshamsa is the default right now. So how is let's say the last couple of years and the next couple of years? Sagittarius Dasha, how is it? 12th house of sadhana, 12th house of upasana in the Vimshamsa. The Dasha is going on right now. So, and what about Cancer Dasha? How was Cancer Dasha? The previous one. Cancer is the 7th lord. Where is this lord? Moon is in the 8th house. If the 7th lord is in 8th house, what does it show? Forget that. 7th lord in 8th house. What is the meaning of the combination? Maraka. Not for marriage. General Maraka. If it is in Rashi, it is Maraka for the person. The person may die. If it is in Vimshamsa, 7th lord in 8th, what does it mean? What is Vimshamsa? Yeah. What is Vimshamsa? Okay. Spirituality is a very loose word. What exactly is it? What is spirituality? Forget spirituality. That's not exact word. Vimshamsa is based on the 8th house seed. D20, it is basically 8. So what is it all about? It is about that struggle basically. Nishanka is basically an internal struggle. 8th house is the house of struggle. And D20 is at the mental level. D1 to D12 are physical level. D12 to D24 are mental level. D25 to D36 are subconscious level. And so on. So this is mental level and struggle. This is basically the chart of struggling to find who you are and finding yourself. That is what it is all about. It's not about doing puja, doing mantra, reading something. Those are all paths to finding out who you are. It is fundamentally about finding out who you are. And once you find out who you are, once you really are yourself, once you just be, there is no more struggle. So, the Maraka Sthana in Nishamsa show, what does it show? The end of the struggle, of course. Struggle may end momentarily for a few seconds and it may start again. But bottom line is, the Marakas in Nishamsa, especially 8th Lord in 7th or 7th Lord in 8th, they show basically some kind of ending the struggle, which is very auspicious. Basically, when will the struggle end? Either when you die or when you experience self. When you have Atma Darshan, for example. When you experience the supreme bliss within, or when you experience the glorious light within. When you have that spiritual experience, or when you Kundalini rises to some of the higher chakras, when you have such an experience, that is what is shown by the Marakas and Nishamsa. So, in general, if you see any planet associated with the 8th house or 7th Lord in 8th or 8th Lord in 7th, you can experience some experience, you can expect some kind of experiences during that dasha. So, that is a very auspicious dasha from the point of view of, and also Moon is in 8th house. What is 8th house? 8th house is the house of sadhana. So Moon will give lot of sadhana, and also being Maraka, 7th Lord in 8th, he may give some experiences also coming from the sadhana. And another thing, there is a very powerful yoga on Cancer. Very powerful yoga. Can anybody point it to me? Cancer, Gajageshari Kattari yoga. There is a Shubhakattari yoga, Jupiter and Moon, they have Kattari, just one planet on each side. So if you have one planet on both sides or two planets on both sides, same number of planets on both sides. Even if the number is not same, it's Kattari. Let's say Jupiter and Moon are on one side, Venus is on the other side. There is a Kattari. If the number of planets also matches, it is even more powerful. And if the planets causing Kattari are friends, it's even more powerful. They will give result as though they are together in that sign. So Moon and Jupiter have a Kattari on Cancer. So because of that Gajageshari yoga, this Cancer dasha is a very, very, very important dasha. Moon is in? Yeah. No, it's not. Maranakaraka, planets in Maranakaraka Sthana are not at all bad here. He is 7th Lord in the 8th house. So, in Nishamsa you want death only. Because it's a sadhana. It's a struggle basically. You want death of the struggle. Then only you get experience. That's what I'm saying. We say it's the chart of spirituality because it's the chart of the struggle with it. We are not talking about death of materialistic aspect. The struggle is not really materialistic. The internal struggle to find out who you are, that's not material, that is spiritual. And that is what Nishamsa shows. Now the thing is, if a planet shows the end of that, it may be end of that because you had an experience. Or it may be end of it because you just got tired of it and you went back to materialism. So, if a planet is Maraka, let us say in Nishamsa, what I said earlier applies, but that's not the only interpretation. You have to always, for any combination, there will be positive and negative. There will be both the possibilities. So you have to basically judge properly, which is more applicable here. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's take that, forget Nishamsa because Nishamsa is more tricky. In Rashi, let's say Moon is the 7th Lord and he is in 8th house. Will Moon Dasha give death or not? Can he give death or not? Seventh Lord in the 8th house, but in Mankaraka. Is it more inauspicious or less inauspicious? And bottom line is he capable of giving that? The effect given by moon will be is lessened by the fact that he is also in Mankaraka. That is true. Anything else? Okay. When is moon's result given and when is Gajgeswara Yoga's result given? Just as an exercise. I want to remember if you remember. I want to see if you remember all the rules. The three-part rule. Do you remember the three-part rule? One is the sign itself, other is Lord, the other is the planets aspecting, occupying it, etc. So it is first. It goes first. Why? First house itself chooses which one it wants. But is it Vishwadaya or Krishnadaya? Answer is Vishwadaya. You used to have a rule. You used to remember the 1, 2, 4, 9, 10. You had those numbers. So do those numbers again. You forgot those numbers now? Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 9, 10. So Cancer, Krishnadaya or Vishwadaya? I should put it in the software. A head picture and a feet picture in the new menu. I can add. Yes. So Seju remembers that Krishnadaya Rashis are given by 1, 2, 4, 9, 10. But he doesn't remember if Cancer is 1, 2, is among 1, 2, 4, 9, 10 or not. Were you counting from Aries when you made up that rule? Of course you were. What? No. Yeah, it's not houses. Krishnadaya doesn't depend on where Lagna is. For everybody, Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Sagittarius, Ketugan are back rising. Pisces is middle rising, Ujjodaya. Others are Vishwadaya, head rising. So here, Cancer is Krishnadaya, so it will give its result at the end. This is the last 1/3. And the Lord Moon will give the result in the first 1/3 because he is in Krishnadaya, not Krishnadaya, he is in Vishwadaya. So Lord being in Vishwadaya will come at the beginning. Sign being Krishnadaya means it will come at the end, and in the middle, yogas. Yogas on that sign. Planets aspecting the planets having yoga, etc. So, in the okay, now planets aspecting will give in the middle. But what about planets having that yoga, Shivakatra yoga? When will they give the result? Yeah. So it should be in the middle 1/3. So the Gajkesar yoga on Cancer would have given its result in the middle 1/3. So 96 to 99. 96 to 99 is a very important time. Okay. Then Gajkesar yoga's results will be experienced. Guru and Moon. Now the last 1/3 will give the result of the sign itself. So right now the sign of Cancer is giving its result. What are the results of the sign of Cancer? 7th house. What is 7th house in Samsa? Desire to struggle, basically. So basically during this 1/3, 99 to 2003, there is a lot of desire, spiritual desire. Okay. Now how is the dasha that is running right now? We said Sagittarius. It is very auspicious for the sadhana and for experiences. Pardon me? Yeah, if you take different parts of Sagittarius, is Sagittarius Vishwadaya or Krishnadaya? Krishnadaya. So it's giving these results at the end. And right now who is giving this? Until 2005, who gave results? The Lord Jupiter is in Vishwadaya. So Jupiter's result in the first 1/3, 2003 March to 2005 March, and the result of Saturn from 2005 to 2007. The results of Saturn in Sagittarius are being given now. So is this sign more auspicious as far as spirituality is concerned for going out in the open and doing things Or is the period right now more auspicious for just do more sadhana? What is your recommendation to her? Until when? 2007. And after that, what about after that? After 2007 March. Okay. What are the results given by Sagittarius? Who are influencing it? Who are the planets there? Saturn and Jupiter. Okay. Is it really auspicious for a lot of karma in the society? Or should she just continue her meditation? Forget about doing something, doing some cause, etc. It's actually crossover from Nishamsa to Dashamsa. So we have seen in Nishamsa. Now let's see the Dashamsa and correlate. In the Dashamsa, what are the Dashas she is running right now? First let us, actually do you want Narayana Dasha or Shatabdika Dasha itself? What do you want? Okay, he wants Narayana Dasha. Okay, what is the Dasha she is running right now? She is running Vargo Dasha. How is Vargo Dasha? And what are the parts in it? Vargo, Krishnadaya or Srishadaya? Srishadaya, head rising. So it will give its results in the first 1/3 itself. Then, Lord, is he Srishadaya or Krishnadaya? He is in Krishnadaya, so he will give results in the last 1/3. Who will give results in the middle 1/3? The occupant, no, none, the aspector, Mercury. So Mercury as the planet aspecting Virgo will give results in the middle 1/3. Okay? So what are the results that you can attribute to Mercury? What do you think? Mercury is Dharakaraka. What does Dharakaraka show? Working with people, working with fellow souls. Not just working for some simple thing like making money, etc. Working for people to whom you have soul level attachment, deep attachment. So basically meaningfully working with people. That's what Dharakaraka will show. And he is, also there is A7. What does A7 show? What does A7 show? Yeah. Does it also show collaboration with other people? Interactions and collaborations with other people. Can it be shown by A7? So Dharakaraka is in A7. Is it auspicious for working with people to whom you have a strong attachment from the past? Meaningfully working with those people with a soul level attachment and also physically working together with them. So that is what Mercury's relationship to A7 shows. And he is in the 5th house of what does 5th house show? In Dashamsa, what does 5th house show? Popularity, fame, following, recognition. So doing some important work for which you will be recognized. That is what Mercury is showing. And his aspect on Virgo will give its result in the coming 4 years. Okay? So is it favorable? Is this particular period when Mercury will give his result, is it favorable for going out and doing some work in the society? Work with people, impact their life. Is it possible? And what kind of work does Mercury show? Communicating with people, educating people. Mercury is the planet of educating. And Moon and Mercury are the planets of compassion, kindness. If it is, for example, Saturn or somebody, if Saturn is involved, let's say Jupiter is involved, you will be very wise. You will be like a sadhu. When somebody comes to you, you will just guide them and then they will go away. But Moon and Mercury, they are very compassionate planets. So basically, she said charity, etc. Does it make sense with Mercury there? Can Moon and Mercury show a lot of charity work? That is quite possible. So if she wants to do charity work and devote her life to service, is this the right time or should she wait? Actually, right time is almost there. 2006 March. The right time is almost coming. So this is favorable. How is Vinchotri? Because Vinchotri, this is Narayana Dasha shows what is on the ground. Vinchotri shows how is the mind looking at things. How does her mind look at what she is doing? The Dasha she is running right now is Saturn. Last year Saturn Dasha started. And how is Saturn in Dashamsha? Saturn is in the 7th house in own sign. So Saturn will show a very strong desire. Shatabdika is fine. We decided that is better than Vishwasali because Navamsha Lagna is the same as Rati Lagna. So Saturn Dasha is running right now. Is Saturn favorable for all the work that she wants to do, all the service and charity, etc. she wants to do? There is a strong desire. Basically, Saturn is showing a very strong desire in this chart. And he is in own house, he is in Mula Trikona. So this Saturn Dasha is likely to make her very motivated to do this work. And what kind of work will Saturn show? Discipline, sadhana, and also service to people. Basically, being like a laborer. Saturn is a natural laborer. So when Saturn takes over your life, you will be like a laborer. Of course, there are two possibilities. You may want lot of luxuries, you may not get it, and you may feel unhappy with what you have, or you may abandon what you have and lead a very simple life and serve people. You just be a servant of so many people. Not because you need to, but because you want to. Both are possible. We will see that. That is the next thing. So overall, if she wants to go to an ashram, lead a simple life, serve people, do charity kind of things, this is a good time for her. That will show that based on Nakshatra Dasha as well as Narayan Dasha, I think the Dasha has come. She will do service, she will lead a humble life. Mentally, she looks at herself, she is very focused, very motivated to do service, and she feels very simple, lives very simple and humble life as far as mind is concerned. And as far as Narayan Dasha is concerned, she may even become famous for that. Yes, she may get the opportunity to work with a lot of good people and also get some fame and following because of it. So based on the Dasha, we think that we think that things are favorable. Now the issue is, nothing comes easy in life. When you want something, you may have to let something go. So is that the case, or can there be some compromise as far as marriage and children are concerned? So that is what we are going to look at next. So marriage first. How do you see marriage from which Dasha? From which chart? Now answer. So how is the Dasha right now? Saturn Dasha is running right now. The Antardasha must be Saturn for a long time. So Saturn is running. How is it? How is Saturn? If you remember, it was Saturn Antardasha in Jupiter Mahadasha, which gave marriage. Now again she is in Saturn, but this time as Mahadasha. How is Saturn Mahadasha? He will give whose result? As far as marriage is concerned? Venus result. And what does Venus show? Okay. But he is giving which yoga? We said he is giving a yoga. Venus is giving Harsha yoga. Sixth lord in the sixth house. So basically, he gives happiness. And is there a chance of end of marriage? Can Venus give the end of marriage? Okay, he is in Mangarka Sthana. What else? And he is basically, he is significant of marriage. But the thing is, here he is placed in the sixth house. Yeah. So overall, let me put it this way, let me make it simple. Do you think marriage will just be smooth as it is, with nice relationship? Or do you expect some kind of compromises in marriage? But then if that is the case, if Venus, even though he is giving Harsha Yoga, because he is giving Harsha Yoga, even if he gives an end of marriage or a temporary break in the marriage, there will not be any litigation or any sorrow, any fight, any anger. All those things are there. Any planet in the sixth house typically can give some kind of break in the marriage or even divorce. Planets in the sixth house. But because he is giving Harsha Yoga, the yoga of cheerfulness, any end that happens in marriage or any change that happens in marriage will be very comfortably, it will happen happily as far as he is concerned. But my question is, why did that Antardasha give marriage in Jupiter Mahadasha? Yeah, same Venus gave marriage in the Saturn Antardasha. Why? That Venus is now showing that there may be some end in the marriage. Why did that Antardasha give marriage? This is the important lesson. You should always remember that when you judge an Antardasha, Lagna is only half important. The Mahadasha Lord is the other half. You should never ignore. The Venus Antardasha in Jupiter Mahadasha is not the same as Venus Antardasha in Mars Mahadasha. And that is not the same as Venus Antardasha in, let's say, Mercury Mahadasha. The same Antardasha in different Mahadashas can give considerably different results. And when that particular planet Dasha comes, that can again be particularly different. So you should remember that whenever you judge the Antardasha, you should also look at the Mahadasha. So Jupiter Dasha, within Jupiter Dasha, Saturn is 7th Lord in 7th, perfect for marriage. But in normal Venus Dasha, now forget Jupiter. Jupiter is not a center. Lagna is the center. From Lagna, this Venus is basically in the 6th house. So, what is your gut feeling? Do you think that marriage will continue as it is, or do you think that there can be some kind of end in marriage? Right. Why compromise? What is the house for compromise? 12th house. Is it 12th house for marriage? Yes. Is this the 12th house for marriage? Yes. The 6th house is the house of compromises in marriage. And when you have to make compromises in marriage and don't make them, you struggle, you fight. So it's either the house of quarrel or the house of compromises that you make in marriage. It can be both. Just not Saturn Venus, it is Saturn. So it is Venus. Result-wise, effectively, it is Venus. It's not Saturn Venus. It's Venus. So overall, first get Venus Mahadasha, forget Venus Antardasha. Yeah. Actually, why do you say Mars would have given break in this house? Okay, which planet can give a break in this marriage? Which planet shows break in marriage here? Who are the Marakas? Okay. Just give me the planet. Which planet Dasha or Antardasha is very critical. Can give an end in this marriage. Why? See, the thing is, you are looking at 7th Lord. 7th house is the house of marriage itself. You are looking at it as Maraka. Moon is the 2nd Lord in 3rd house. Even from Lagna, he is the 8th Lord. 8th house will show, as far as marital life is concerned, 8th house is a very inauspicious house. 8th Lord, he is important house. He can give trouble in marriage, lot of anxiety related to marriage, and probably even the end of marriage. Now, Mars by nature he is against marriage. By nature he is against marriage, but here is a very planet. Yes. Karakatva wise, Mars is basically the Karaka for fights and probably ending things. So that is right. But here let's come back to the point. We are deviating. The basic point is Venus is in the 6th house of compromise in marriage. So or quarrels. Do you expect quarrels or some compromise in marriage? What do you expect from this Venus? He doesn't have any relationship with Mars here. He is the Karaka for quarrel. And he is in own house, within Harsha Yoga, the house of peacefulness. So there is a happy compromise in marriage. But marriage is not likely to continue the way it was. So there is likely to be some kind of break or some kind of compromise in the arrangement, in the marital arrangement. It doesn't show smooth sailing. And how is that? Pardon me? Till 2014. You want to look at the Pratyanta Dasha? What is the Pratyanta Dasha running right now? Saturn. So, fully under Saturn influence. And when is Moon Pratyanta Dasha coming? Actually, forget it. From Saturn, if you judge, how are we various of these Pratyanta Dasha? How is the first Pratyanta Dasha? Is it rough or is it good? It's rough. Saturn is very rough. But how is Sun? How is Saturn, Sun? Sun is placed in the 11th house of gains from Saturn and he is the 4th lord. Is he overall an auspicious planet or inauspicious planet? Overall he is okay. So, do you expect, if there is some struggle now to reach an understanding, do you expect that to struggle past the end of 2007 or will some kind of compromise be reached before that so that there is some comfort for both of them? What do you think? Okay. So do you think that the time until until the end of next year is the time when there will be some trouble? Pardon me? Fourth house, yeah? Yeah, fourth house from Saturn, yeah. Yes, sir. See, from Lagna, he is the 9th lord in fourth house. 9th lord shows he is the greatest benefactor. And he is in the fourth house of direction, in a friendly house. So when your protector is in the fourth house of comfort, will there be some comfort? Yes, there will be some comfort and sense of direction relating to Dharmic life. That is from Lagna. Now from Antardasha Lord, if you analyze, just for Antardasha, just like you take the Mahadasha Lord as reference for Antardasha, for Pratyanta Dasha, you take the Antardasha Lord as reference. So if you take Saturn as reference, he is the 4th Lord in the 11th house. Yeah, 4th house is a common theme. So he will give some comfort. So any little discomfort that may be given by Venus on account of being in Manakarthasthana and on account of being with Saturn, the Karaka for discomfort. So on account of that, despite giving Hatha Yoga, if Venus is giving some struggle, some unhappiness, some obstacle, some loss of comfort, that will basically go away after the end of 2007. So basically we expect that until 2007, there can be some roughness in the marriage, and after 2008 comes, things will reach a steady state. Until then, usually when there is a big change in life, reaching a good equilibrium takes time. It doesn't happen. You know what to do, but the thing is, you just can't do sometimes. So we expect that for 2 years there will be some problems. Now, we want to look at children, but before that, let's look at Navamsha from the point of view of annual chart. How is this year start? 2006, February 26. Very soon, the new year will start. How is this year for marriage? Who is the ruler of the year? Sun is the ruler of the year. And how is the Navamsha of this year? How is this? Sun is the 4th lord sitting in 10th house. He is okay, but so forget it. Look at all other planets. How is the chart in general? Jupiter and Lagna and Navamsha is auspicious, okay? Ketu is in? Yeah. Mars and Ketu are in Pulse. What about that? What would that show? Okay. As far as marriage is concerned, Mars is the 7th lord in Navamsha. He is in the 12th house, but in own house with Ketu. What does it show? Yeah, some compromise and detachment. And Ketu is there, the planet of spirituality. And going back one point, you said Jupiter, somebody said Jupiter in Lagna is auspicious. Is it really fully auspicious? He is the 8th lord in Lagna. So, How does it look? Okay. What does it show?
Have a context of interest in each other. When it is correlation or
Who is disciplined?
so it's not discipline.
Both show sudden changes. Both are very impulsive. They are not really very different. They are very similar. Mars and Ketu are very similar. Mars shows sudden changes, suddenness, impulsiveness, and Ketu shows even more sudden, even more explosiveness.
Yeah, but it's agenda consistent.
Their agenda is 7th house. Both of them want to give some dharmic relationship with the husband. So that is their agenda. And both of them are in the 12th house. 12th house is the house of some giving up. So it doesn't look too great. Some sudden, she may be thinking for a long time, but suddenly she may do something. So Mars and Ketu also in Aries. Aries is also a very sudden sign. So Mars and Ketu in Aries in the 12th house shows some kind of sudden walking away. So that is possible in this case. I mean, 8th Lord? Yeah. Yeah. 8th Lord is in Lagna. That is also not auspicious for continuing marriage. Yeah, but she is already married. Yeah. Yeah. Potential of some separation is possible in the coming year. When is it possible? Jupiter is the strongest candidate to put that. Mars and Ketu can give some internal detachment, but Mars Dasha also there is a chance, but probably our guess is Jupiter Dasha. Jupiter Dasha can give that. Now how is Dashamsha? How is Vinshamsha? Because we are also interested in that. Does this year show a lot of spiritual activity? Let me put Dashamsha and Vinshamsha. Is there a chance of lot of spiritual activity in this year? Spiritual activity. For me? In what? In the Rashi, the Dashamsha? Okay, 6th house is very strong. What else? How is Vinshamsha? Look at Vinshamsha. How is Vinshamsha of this year? Are there any yogas being given in the Vinshamsha? Lagna Lord and 7th and 10th Lord Mercury are together. That's all. There is a twist on the Jupiter Mercury yoga. Mercury and Sun have an exchange. So 9th and 10th Lord, Dharma, Karmadhipati are exchanging each other's house, and Lagna Lord is with them. So basically there is a three-way yoga between Lagna Lord, 9th Lord and 10th Lord. There is a confluence between all those three houses. Is it auspicious or what? Most auspicious. There is a Dharma Karmadhipati yoga in which Lagna Lord is also involved, 4th Lord also. So extremely auspicious yoga. So because of that, as far as spiritual life is concerned, there is a very strong chance, because 9th and 10th are involved, there is a very strong chance of that basically coming to the fore, becoming an activity basically. Just as 9th house in Dashamsha may show dharmic work in the society, the 10th house in Vinshamsha will show activities relating to spirituality. So the 10th house is very strong, and moreover, who is in the 10th house? Who is taking part in this yoga? Sun, the Hora Lord, the ruler of the year. So because the ruler of the year is involved in such a nice yoga in the Vinshamsha, her spiritual activities may not be just internal anymore. They may not be just sadhana. They may come to the fore, going to an ashram, talking to people, interacting with people, telling people, giving some money for some cause. All these things are possible because of this combination. A5 is there, so some recognition can come. All those things are there, but the thing is, there is a very powerful yoga. Now look at the Dashamsha. How is Dashamsha? Is that the planet showing that yoga in the Vinshamsha Sun Mercury associated with the 10,000 Vinshamsa, they show some work in relating to spirituality, some activity relating to spirituality, some achievement relating to spirituality. Are they involved with the 9th or 10,000 in Dashamsa also? The same Mercury, the 10th lord of Vinshamsa, is in the 10,000 Rashi, 10,000 Dashamsa. So, can he show a lot of activities in the society? Yes. So, there is some spiritual activity may come to the fore basically, because there is a confluence through Mercury between Vinshamsa and the Dashamsa chart. Now, pardon me? Jupiter and Sun are in the 5th house. 5th house of recognition. There can be some following given by the same Sun and Jupiter who are giving a yoga in Vinshamsa. So because of all these things, actually this year may be very important year. She may actually start implementing her thoughts, whatever she is thinking for a few years. She may actually implement that, and marriage may have to suffer because of it. There may be a break in the marriage. And how are children? Let's go back to the natal chart. Look at children. What do you guys expect? What is your... Okay, what do you guys think? Okay. Okay, let's go back to the Shatabdika Dasha and let's see, how do you see the husband? Okay, Graha Rudha of the 7th Lord, is that what you want to do? Okay. Where is the Graha Rudha of the 7th Lord? 7th Lord is Mercury, he is here. Graha Rudha will be in 7th house is Gemini, 7th Lord Mercury is in Cancer. From the Lord, the house is in the 12th house. From the house if you take 12, Taurus. Taurus is the Graha Rudha of the 7th Lord. Or if you want to use the software, the standard use is Graha Rudha. So L7, the Lord of 7th house Graha Rudha. Where is it? Taurus. So if you take Taurus as Lagna and judge various dashas. Pardon me? Okay. Why? He says husband will not like it, but why? No, you are generally saying the overall relationship between them always. What I want to do is, how is this particular dasha? What will happen to the husband? Will he be unhappy man, staying home and sulking, or will he cooperate with her? How is he thinking? What will he do during this period? That's what I want to know. So use the Shatabdika Dasha, use L7 as Lagna in Navamsa and tell me. So Lagna Lord in Lagna, Venus. So Venus results will be given for the husband. Is it good or bad? Is he going to be an unhappy man or is he going to actually... Okay. Also, does Venus take part in any yoga in the Lagna? 9th and 10th Lord Saturn is with Venus, Lagna Lord. So, overall, do you see that husband will be unhappy and not cooperate, or do you think that actually he may cooperate and he may also take part in the dharmic work? What is your guess? Yeah. Okay. So, what is your prediction? Give it to her. Okay. Our thinking is there may be some reluctance in the beginning, especially even before 2005 in the previous data, but we expect that eventually he will also get into that part. He will also get interested. So very good. Okay, so what do you think? Earlier we saw, based on Lagna, we saw that in Saturn there will be some separation, some struggle, etc. So correlating that with the analysis based on L7, You can say that there may be some reluctance in the beginning, there may be some uncertainty in the beginning, but eventually he will not basically go to court or to her through trouble. But he will also, when she goes one step ahead, there may be some unhappiness, but eventually he will also try to follow her. That is our expectation. So we expect that he will also become more. Do you expect it to get ugly? Forget L7 now. Based on Lagna, we saw Venus Saturn earlier. We saw that some kind of separation is possible because of the sixth house. But is there any ugliness involved there? Asha Yoga. We didn't expect Mars is not involved. So we didn't expect it to be ugly. Maybe some unhappiness because of Saturn. But we don't expect it to be ugly. Everybody thinks. Yeah. Lagna and sixth lord in Lagna. Very good thinking, very good logic. Yes. Saturn gives Venus result. Venus is the sixth lord and sixth house has Rahu. This sixth house, not her sixth house, this sixth house has Rahu. So there can be some inclination to fight given by Venus. But overall, when you look at her Navamsha, Venus is very auspicious. She doesn't show any unhappiness. So he may actually initiate something a little bit, but he will not be perturbed by it. He may be very happy, and at the end he may also find happiness. But overall, balancing all the negatives and positives, do you agree that things will not get ugly and he will also follow her? Now, she asked about, actually let's look at this current year. How is this year, coming year? Where is L7? L7 is in Gemini. In this year's annual chart, 2006. L7 is in Gemini. So how is this year for you? Pardon me? Yeah? 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 You can say that. You can say that. But I want L7 to be taken as Lagna and generally see how are the planets. Is her husband going to struggle this year or what is going to happen? Lagna Lord is in second house with Moon. Not really a friendly house, but Moon likes him. He doesn't like being there, but Moon likes him. So Lagna Lord is okay, not bad. And there is Subhakatari on Lagna. And Bharagesha Jupiter is in second, 12th house. Like basically some nagging worry that cannot be expressed, that has been there for a while, going away, which is good. Mars and Ketu in the 11th house, so some gains. They are not inauspicious. Venus in the 8th house, good or bad. Venus is the 5th and 12th lord in the 8th house, good or bad. For Venus, 8th house is not a bad house. It's a very auspicious house for Venus. Parivartana between Saturn and Venus, 6th lord and 8th lord, not a great yoga, but okay. So overall, we don't see any terrible things showing. He is all charged up, he goes to court and he is always tuning. Do you see anything like that? We don't see anything like that. So overall, we expect that he will take some decisive action this year and things may turn out quite fine. So that is what we expect. But children, that's a different ballgame. Let's look at children. She wanted what will happen to children. What exactly does she mean? Do you understand what exactly is expected of you? If you don't, ask her. No, before you give personal thing, do you understand the question fully? No. What is the impact on marriage and children? Marriage, we understand. I understood the answer. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So what is her concern? What exactly is her concern when she says what is the impact on children? Do you understand it? Just ask her what is the concern. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, both of them are on the spiritual path. So what is the concern? If she goes to the ashram full time or something, what is the concern? Yeah. Okay. Her main concern is her two children are also on spiritual path. Two children are also on spiritual path, and if she walks away at this point of time and devotes her life to something else, some other cause, is it going to have an impact on her daughter's life? She wants her daughter to get married like a normal person, just like she did. And if she is spiritual, maybe devote her life to that cause maybe later, at her old age, not now. She wants her daughter to be married and have a normal life. So is her decision going to impact that? So what we have to look at is, look at that particular child, or what the current dasha and the dasha, etc. So that's what we will do. So further, do you need to know which daughter she is concerned about? Ask her. The oldest. She is concerned about the oldest daughter. Okay? How are things for the oldest daughter? How do you see the oldest daughter? Yeah, we understood now. So the question is the oldest daughter going to get married or not? And should she be there, make sure that she is married, or walk away and leave things at a risk? So that is the question. So, how do you see the oldest daughter? We already saw. Saturn, Aquarius shows the daughter, we see the Lord, Paka as the Lagna. So Saturn in Scorpio, we found that he was stronger than Rahu. We just made a calculated risk. We just made a subjective decision. And it seemed to be reinforced by the Dasha, Antardasha running at the time of her birth. So we'll take Scorpio as Lagna and see how things are. What is the chance of marriage, etc. Okay? And is there a chance of marriage now? So how is Saturn Dasha for her? Saturn Dasha is running right now. Yeah? He is the third and fourth lord from Lagna. Okay. Saturn Venus? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So from Scorpio Lagna, 7th Lord Venus is in the 9th house. So because there isn't any big combination showing remaining a Kanya throughout her life. 7th Lord is not in 6th or something. So because the 7th Lord is in the house of Dharma, Seshu's thinking is that she will get married. Okay, any other thoughts? Overall, forget the Dasha now. Maybe Shatabdika is the right Dasha or not. And you are looking at the daughter. So forget the Dasha. Because you are trying to look at daughter's fortune. If you are trying to look at how happy she is from children, this Dasha may be right Dasha. But when you are looking at the child's life, the events in child's life, maybe this is a very, very fuzzy Dasha, maybe very vague Dasha. Maybe there is a better Dasha. Actually, there is a variation called Pakanarayan Dasha, which is more appropriate. We will not do it now, but let's forget the Dasha. Is marriage written in her fate or not? In her destiny, not fate. So 7th house is reasonably strong. And how do you see apart from 7th house, what is the important thing for marriage? Apart from 7th house. UL. How is UL? Where is her UL? UL will be the Libra's Arudha. So A5. Everybody is clear? Her 12th house is 5th house for mother, for Lagna. So look for A5. Where is it? In 3rd house. UL is in Capricorn and Venus is aspecting UL. Lagna Lord? Not Lagna Lord. UL Lord is in Lagna. UL Lord is basically well placed. He is in Lagna. He is in Lagna. UL Lord is in Lagna and UL is being affected by Venus. And from the UL, do you see any big, basically planets blocking UL? No. There are no in the 2nd house, 7th house, 8th house. You don't see any big blockages for the UL. So she may get married. And even based on Shatabdi Dasha, Saturn being the UL Lord, he may have to give marriage for all this. So, are you concerned that the daughter may not get married? No. Good. How is this year? When may she get married? Is this year a likely year? We don't have daughters. That would have been easy, but look from Harsha, okay? So how is this year? How is this year? How do you see the daughter in this year's chart? In this annual chart? Yeah, first, not fifth. That's why I told you. Because in this case, only one marriage. If there are 2 or 3 marriages, first marriage there may be 1 child, second marriage 2 children. You have to look at the right thing. Otherwise, you are looking at the wrong here. So here, the 7th house is even. I'm not saying Lagna is even. Remember this. That is a disciplined way to think. 7th house is even. So we should take the 11th from it backward. But Ketu is there. So go for forward. So 11th house forward means Pisces. So take Pisces as Lagna. Take Meena as Lagna and judge things. Is there a chance of marriage this year? Yeah, Hora Lord is Sun. But forget the Hora Lord now. Just look at the Lagna Lord is in Lagna, Jupiter. 7th Lord is in 7th house, exaltation. Aspect in, pardon me? Yeah, 12th Lord in Lagna. So Lagna Lord and 12th Lord are together in Lagna, and Mercury is the exalted 7th Lord in 7th house. So is there actually a very strong chance of a marriage during this year? Pardon me? Upada, where is Upada? Shani Lord or Rahu Lord? Who is the Lord of Aquarius? Shani. You shouldn't have any doubt. Shani. Shani is the Lord. So where is Upada? It's in Aries. Okay. So how is the Upada Lord? Exalted Mars. He is in 11th house. Upada Lord is in 11th house. He is exalted. Upada is strong. But are there any blockages to Upada? Big blockages. 2nd and 8th have the Sun and Moon being eclipsed by Rahu and Ketu. Those are the blockages. So when Sun and Moon are eclipsed, it can also show spiritual matters. So there can be some spiritual desires, etc. That maybe from Upada, 2nd house has Sun with Ketu. The Sun and Ketu eclipse, basically 8th Lord. Ketu is the 8th Lord from Upada. He is in the 2nd house, Marakasthana, with Sun. So if there are benefic influences on the 2nd from Upada, bringing the marriage may be difficult. That can happen if the 2nd Lord is very strong. How is the 2nd Lord? 2nd Lord is Venus. Is he strong? He is in a trine. And from Upada he is in a quadrant. So Venus is well-placed, and also most importantly, Venus is in Cancer. Cancer is a very fruitful sign. There are some signs like Cancer, Pisces, Libra. These are very fruitful. Cancer is a sign associated with Brahma, new beginnings, etc. They say that at the time of creation, several planets are supposed to be in Cancer at the time of creation. Cancer is a very, very auspicious and fruitful sign. There are some signs that are not fruitful, like Scorpio, Capricorn. These signs don't give their results very easily. Here Venus is in a very fruitful sign. He is the Karaka for marriage, and he is the 2nd Lord from marriage. 2nd Lord is basically the bringer of marriage. He is the one who feeds the marriage, basically, gives food to the marriage. So even though Sun Ketu thing is there in the 2nd house, it may show some spiritual struggle which is blocking the marriage. But there is a strong blockage for the marriage. But looking at the strength of Venus and looking overall at the strength of 7th house, 7th house is extremely strong. My suspicion is that she may get married this year itself actually. Even during this transition into her new life, she may take care of her daughter's marriage issue, and it may happen either just before that or just after her transition. But I think before the transition fully happens and fully she is into that life, she may make sure that this responsibility is done. And which Antardasha is most likely for this marriage? Mercury, you would say, is the strongest, and maybe Venus, because there is a blockage and Venus is removing that blockage. So Mercury and Venus are strong candidates. If I have to go with one, I will go with Mercury. August, September time frame, there is a strong chance of marriage. So she can plan for a new life and at the same time maybe convince her daughter to get married. And mother is represented by what? Fourth house. Yeah. Maybe. That is possible. But more than the fourth house from that child, you will look at Lagna to see mother. Lagna is mother. But your point is right. Fourth house from her is basically the direction being given to her by mother. For a different child, if you see, she will be the second child, right? Venus. The second child from Cancer. If you look at the second child, the guidance being given to her, not guidance, but the direction being given to her by the mother, would be from the fourth house center. Okay? So that is a good point, but it's an indirect point. The fourth house may not be just mother, it's actually her sense of direction. For me, already looking at the mother side, that's it. So Scorpio itself will show mother. But mother's chart, if you see, as far as Saptamsha is concerned in this year, see, let's go back to Navamsha. Navamsha, Jupiter is in Lagna. Even though his 8th law showing some anxiety, he is after all Jupiter. So mother, this lady is anxious in the next year. She will be a little anxious relating to marital life. Am I going to hurt my husband? Is he going to be okay with it? Like that, there is some anxiety. But Jupiter is the planet. It's not that anxiety is not really like head-breaking kind of anxiety. It's a very benign anxiety. But look at Saptamsha. Is there some tension relating to Saptamsha also? How is Lagna, Saptamsha Lagna? This is basically she, as far as children are concerned, as far as relationship with children is concerned, as far as issues relating to children is concerned, are concerned. Moon is the 9th lord, the Badhakesha is in Lagna. Auspicious or inauspicious? Debilitated, Badhakesha in Lagna. Indebility. This Rahu. So torture. This is basically as far as next year is concerned, she will be tortured relating to children. So even though we expect that daughter may get married, it may happen after a lot of mental torture, lot of pain, lot of anxiety. So that is what we would expect. Based on Moon and Rahu being in Lagna. But the thing is, how is Lagna Lord? Lagna is basically the inanimate circumstances. She is operating under very torturous circumstances. But how is Lagna Lord? Lagna Lord shows how she acts, how she applies her intelligence. How is Lagna Lord? Exalted in the 3rd house. So that means very bold, very aggressive. She has to be very determined and say, this is what we have to do. She has to be more forceful. She may be relating to children, in the matter of children, she may be very forceful during this year. But the thing is, Jupiter, Venus, all these are well placed. Mercury. The 3 benefits, Jupiter, 6th lord in 5th house, Venus, 7th lord in 9th house, though Bharadasthana, Mercury. Even though 8th and 11th lord, male 6, still 11th lord exalted in 11th, showing some gains. When I say gains, it's not just getting something. Always when we say 11th house, people look in terms of getting something and sitting in your pocket. That is not necessarily gain. 11th house is justification of desire. So you have a desire, justified. That is 11th house. That is the real gain. Putting something in your pocket is not gain. You wanted something, it happened, that is gain. So Mercury, 11th lord in the 11th house shows some desires she holds relating to children will be fulfilled this year. She will be bold and she will have her desires fulfilled. But she has to go through a lot of torture, lot of pain. Mental tension. So that is what you can say. But our expectation, the expectation of the class is, after a lot of trouble in the next few months, she will convince her daughter to get married, find a good groom, and probably get her married this year itself, before her next birthday. Basically in the next 13 months, her first daughter may be married, and probably in August, September time. So, is the class in agreement on this issue? Very good. Rahu is in Lagna and Jupiter is Lagna Lord in Lagna for the daughter and also for her. Fifth Lord in fifth house. Fifth house is the house of emotions basically. So fifth Lord in fifth, he is taking care of her emotions. So if she prays to Jupiter, and also Jupiter is Karaka of Jupiter. So if she prays to Jupiter, these Grahakata Mantram or something, Grahakata Kavacham, that will help her basically be more calm and relaxed and deal with her daughter in a more peaceful way, more truthful way. You're welcome. Anybody wants to add anything? Okay, we'll quickly do it. So we are done. Let me just save the latest one. Go ahead. July 3rd, 1950. Instead means you don't believe. If you say 7:30 AM or PM? If you say 7:30 AM, then we are all happy. If you say 7:30 AM, it sounds as though you don't believe it. You did some investigation and you are not happy. Okay. Okay. What is the place? What is the spelling? Khaji like this? Yeah. Near Warangal. Yeah, I know that. Khaji place. Big train stop. Big train stop. Lot of big train stop there. What is the name or initials or cases example? He gave you a very good way. 4 or 5? 5 I think. Okay. What about this? Yeah. 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 July 7 when? I don't understand this. Lagna is Dhanistha. Dhanistha third pada. Oh, Rashi I am seeing. Nakshatra if you see, right? So go to mundane. Go to moon. Planetary transit mode button. Under it there is moon. Rashi, instead of Rashi, select Nakshatra. And before. Go to the mundane tab. If you want to see when any planet will change Rashi, Nakshatra, Navamsha, Hora, Dashamsha, Vinshamsha, etc. before or after a given date, you can do this. So, I think everybody has. No, maybe not in this place. Look around. There should be planetary transit mode. That has been there for many years. Mundane, planetary transit mode. I rearranged for my convenience. Then I added other mundane stars. Like some two clusters. You should have it. Moon, Nakshatra before. That means find when the following planet change their zodiacal division, Rashi, Nakshatra, Navamsha, etc. before or after the current date. Edit and click the button. So edit, Moon, Nakshatra, before. Click. You will get the chart. July 1, 1950, 8:11:30 PM. That's when July 11, 1950 at 8:11:30 PM. That's when Moon came into Dhanistha. Oh, that's when he came into Shravanam. I think there is a bug. Or maybe did I click twice? One second. No. You click only once. I clicked twice. If you click once, you will get July 2, 1950, 7:14:29 PM. Original birth data is July 3, 7:30 PM. So it was basically AM. So 12 hours back, Shravana was over and Dhanistha started. So absolutely what he said is wrong. One second. What is the data? July 3rd or July 2nd? July 3rd, 7:30 p.m. AM, yeah. So,
what we did was like 12 hours back,
oh, I know. What I'm saying is, if you want to find out the exact time when Shravana got over and Dhanishtha came, you can do what I showed you. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Moon, click on, go back to the natal chart, select moon here, select nakshatra here, select before here, click planet transit mode once. If you click twice, it will go to the previous one. Keep going. When we come to Dhanishtha, when we come to Shravana, when we come to Uttarashada, like that. Click once. Okay. Now you will see moon at the beginning of Dhanishtha. Do you see 23 degrees, 20 minutes, 0.01 seconds? Here at the beginning of Dhanishtha, 100% Dhanishtha is left, if you see here. Not here. Here, 100% Dhanishtha left. And this is July 2nd, 19, 14, 29. So, on the previous night, at 7:15, yeah. You can approximately also calculate. If you go back to the natal chart, where is moon? He is in Dhanishtha. Where is he in Dhanishtha? At the beginning of third param. So he is almost at the middle of Dhanishtha. So basically roughly half day. So 12 hours back it was changed. Yeah, I'm just telling you, this is a way. Sometimes it may be on border also. Then you can use this way to find out whether it was 10 minutes back or 2 hours back that nakshatra came. You see what I'm saying? So you can use this feature in the software. And anyway, coming back to this point. So basically he thinks he was born on Shravanam. So the thing is, there are various ayanasas, there is some controversy, but I won't expect such a huge difference. Maybe a couple of degrees is possible. If there is a huge difference, something is wrong. Either nakshatra he remembers wrong or nakshatra is right but the time is wrong. Maybe it is 7 a.m. previous day. God knows what it is wrong. When his chart was written down by an astrologer, something happened, some weird thing happened. He doesn't remember something right. So, there's no best thing. What I would do is, if I have time, if I don't have time, I just pray to God. I tell him, I can't help. He says, he insists on help, I just pray to God. I just tell whatever I feel like. And if you have time, yeah, do that. 7 p.m., 7 a.m. Is it 7 or 7:30? 7:30 p.m., 7:30 a.m. That day, previous day, next day. Maybe if you are patient, I mean, if you want to take the whole 24-hour window, you can't do anything. But if you take 7 o'clock, take 10-minute window around it, 7 o'clock in the PM previous day, take a window. If you do that you can do. Yeah. If somebody says I was born on July 2nd or 3rd, there is nothing you can do. Very difficult. See, there are hundreds of thousands of totally different people born on a given day. That's the bottom line. And to pick out this particular person from those hundreds of thousands of people, just using mathematical procedures without using this is very difficult. And when you use this intuition, it's not resulting. So, very difficult. What you can do is take sunstart, look at Dvadashamsya, the 9th, etc., look at Father Lagna, and make predictions. This year is good for your career, this year is bad for your career, like that you can do predictions. That's all you can do. You can't do anything more than that. So, all I can suggest is try various combinations. Expect, basically guess what kind of mistake you make. And basically make the same mistake, hour, 10 minutes around, see to make sense of the year. Okay, so with that we will end for today. We will meet, have a happy month. I will have a nice vacation in India, and we will meet on March 19th. That will be the next class at the same time, same place. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thanks, Andy. Thank you.